Napoleon Dynamite, the Seinfeld of movies.
Oh, God. Gross. Freaking idiot.
It had no plot, but it was friggin' hysterical. Napoleon Dynamite is about a nerdy, awkward teen trying to survive what life throws at him.
What the heck are you doing?
From school bullies, to his creepy brother, to his abusive uncle who tries to live in the past. He definitely deserved to get zapped in the gonads by the cheap time machine.
I could have told you that.
It was such a likable movie that I saw it when I was 7 years old. I had no idea what I was watching, but I thought it was hysterical. It's also a very quotable movie.
Do the chickens have large talons?
Do they have what?
Large talons.
I don't understand a word you just said.
I used to quote this movie a lot in school. In fact, one time, I think I was in like the second grade when this happened, I just out of the blue just said,
"Tina, you fat lark!"
And this girl next to me thought I was talking to her, and she got really angry and proceeded to say,
"I'm telling on you."
She goes over to the teacher, and teacher is not even fazed, like she doesn't even hear what she's saying. I don't know if the teacher was like distracted by something else. I think what makes it more funny is the fact that the girl's name wasn't even Tina. I don't know, either way, it was just a funny little moment, but nobody knew what I was talking about. Now, it's been over 16 years since Napoleon Dynamite was released. The film has a pretty short, but very interesting history. Now, many feature films start off sometimes as a short film, either to gain some money or attraction or whatever it may be. And Napoleon Dynamite was one of them.
Lucky.
Jared Hess and John Heder worked on a college film project called Peluca. It's a short film that was shot in black and white on 16mm film. It's a very simple plot. John Heder stars as Seth, along with his friend Pedro, played by Greg Hansen. Together, they skip school to help out their friend Gail find a wig after he shaved his head. It's basically Napoleon Dynamite compacted into 9 minutes. You can see a lot of similarities between both films.
Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh.
Now, after the short played at the 2003 Slam Dance Film Festival, Jeremy Kuhn, who would become the executive producer and editor for Napoleon Dynamite, convinced Jared Hess to turn the short into a feature film. Hess and his wife Jerusha wrote a screenplay that was based off of Peluca, but it was also a little autobiographical of their lives.
Gotta see Jerusha's sweet beauty shot.
This right here made it into our movie. Our little girl.
The puffy shoulder sleeves.
Yeah, you'll see.
Hess went on to say, "I grew up in a family of 6 boys in Preston, Idaho, and the character of Napoleon was a hybrid of all the most nerdy and awkward parts of me and my brothers growing up." Hess and his crew were given $400,000 to make the film. It was shot in the summer of 2003 on location in Preston, Idaho in less than a month. 22 days to be exact. It was then edited by Jeremy Kuhn on his MacBook Pro using Final Cut Pro. Bet you didn't know that. The film then premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2004 and released theatrically in June of the same year. And I think we know what the reception of the movie was.
The more you watch it, the funnier it gets.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Unless you haven't seen it. Then what the hell are you watching this video for? Go watch the damn movie. Now, I'm going to fire off a machine gun of trivia about Napoleon Dynamite because there's quite a bit of it. That and the history of Napoleon Dynamite is pretty short, and I need to fill the video up somehow. John Heder was actually not wearing a wig for both the short and feature film. He really had his hair permed for both films. The film has one of the longest credit lists in film history. That's because there were 181 extras in the film, and all were listed. The dance scene was completely improvised. It was also the last thing they shot for the film. Reason being, they were low on money and only had one roll of film with a little over 10 minutes left. All the plates in the opening of the film would eventually be eaten by the characters in the movie.
Where's their locker?
Aaron Rule, who played Kip, purposely got braces for the role, hence why you hear him lisp.
Easy. I've already looked into it for myself.
A liger is a real animal.
What's a liger?
It's pretty much my favorite animal. That's like a lion and a tiger mixed. Bred for its skills and magic.
Enough said. The late Jonathan Demme said that Napoleon Dynamite is one of his favorite films of all time. Jack Black actually almost played Rex Kwon Do. That would have been pretty interesting to see. It's like imagining what Ghostbusters would have been like if John Belushi played Peter Venkman. There's actually a video game of Napoleon Dynamite. It was released on the Nintendo DS and PSP. And funny enough, I actually have the DS game. John Heder was only paid $1,000 to star in the film.
Well, that place was a ripoff.
There were 2 houses used to film Napoleon's home, one for the interior and one for the exterior. Now, it's confusing and debatable when Napoleon Dynamite takes place. In the opening credits, there's a shot in Napoleon's school ID that shows it takes place between 2004 and 2005. But the scenery, clothing, and technology seem to come from the 80s and 90s. Jared Hess was actually asked when the movie takes place, and he basically said, Idaho. Napoleon Dynamite is one of my favorite movies of all time. I like the fact that it's a clean movie. There's no cursing,
Freaking idiot.
no inappropriate behavior,
What are you doing?
Don't say another word.
for the most part, and it had a very minimalistic feel to it. Well, then again, it's an independent movie. But I think what makes the movie really great is the fact that it has no plot. It's like life. It has no plot, but you give it a plot over time. It's gonna kick you around sometimes, like the bullies in the movie. Or it's gonna put you in a good place with good people that support you. So what's the message of the movie?
Just listen to your heart. That's what I do.
Life has no plot. Life could be good. And life could be a bitch if you're a nerd.